Greetings, welcome back to Black Bear News. And if you are tuning in today, you are probably smarter than the average bear. So the aftermath of Dorian is still taking its toll. This is from yesterday, this hour of darkness as Dorian toll rises, the death toll rises in Bahamas. It's from Abaco. The hurricane death toll is rising in the Bahamas in what its leader calls this hour of darkness. Search and rescue teams were still trying to reach some Bahamian communities isolated by floodwaters and debris Saturday after Hurricane Dorian struck the northern part of the archipelago last Sunday. At least 43 people died. Several hundred people, many of them Haitian immigrants, waited at Abaco Island's Marsh Harbor in hopes of leaving the disaster zone on vessels arriving with aid. Bahamian security forces were organizing evacuations on a landing craft. Other boats, including yachts and other private craft, were also helping to evacuate people. So it is a huge disaster area. Definitely a big crisis there going on. People are trying to get them food and water and essentials. A good part of the Bahamas being wiped out. There was some U.S. aid funding to up to $2.8 million, which doesn't sound like a lot of money. United Nations said 8 tons of food supplies were to arrive by ship on Saturday. That's yesterday. So yeah, 43 dead, and who knows how many more as the rescue efforts and cleanup efforts continue. I watched some pretty horrifying footage that somebody sent me of like before, during, and after. I'll find that link and I'll link it below. I'm going to link this article below. It's currently Dorian is hitting the Canadian East Coast as a tropical storm. And lastly, in this video, this is really infuriating and frustrating. Trump cancels an imminent US-Taliban peace deal over a deadly attack. So we see this over and over again. We've seen it in Syria, where Trump is like, "Oh, I'm going to pull the troops out," and then literally, 2 days later or the next week, there's an attack, a chemical gas attack. Something happens. Oh, we can't do that. Oh, we got to fire some more missiles into Syria. And, he's been talking about pulling troops out of Afghanistan, although the actual plan that has been floated or put in place is like a peace deal, but there would actually be the same number of troops still remaining in Afghanistan. In fact, there would be a slight increase in troops. It's hard to know whether this is all, some kind of large form of play acting, whether Trump is acting like he wants to pull out of these situations. This has also been happening in North Korea as well. There's been peace negotiations going on and disarmament negotiations going on, and somebody's, they've been working towards some kind of completely different situation than what has been happening in North Korea for the last 50 or 60 years or however long it's been going on. And then, then you have these like, oh, they tested some rockets or they tested some missiles. Oh, we got to pull out. That's the end of the peace agreement. And so it's either it's a product of Trump's, or his administration's complete inconsistency or ineptitude, and it's probably a part of that, a bit of that. I don't know. I think that he honestly actually wants to end these conflicts, and, some entity, some nebulous entity, CIA, or, some form of, people beholden to the military industrial complex, they go in and they create some kind of situation where he's forced, because the media has picked up this, oh, we just had an attack. How dare you can't pull troops out. It's unsafe. They just keep creating this situation where we have to prolong. There's no way we can pull out. Um, it's really frustrating. It's infuriating. I can only kind of suspect that certain things are going on. It's hard to know what's actually happening because you have Trump kind of threatening other countries, Iran and Venezuela as well. And, is this his doing, or is this, the men behind the curtains saying, we're going to do this and, come on, man, get with the program. We're going to shame you on national television. Who knows? I don't know. I'm not saying that, that Trump is, a great person to have in office right now. And I can't even speculate as to the veracity of his actual intentions. I don't know. But this stuff needs to stop. And who knows if it would stop if we had a Bernie Sanders in office? Who knows if it would stop if we had a Democrat or a more, Obama took us into, took us from 2 wars to 7 wars. So clearly he was not capable of stopping the military industrial complex from doing what they wanted to do. Do our bidding or else. Was how knowledgeable of a puppet was Obama? How knowledgeable of a puppet is Trump? Who knows? It's frustrating, but if you want to go all the way back to Eisenhower and Kennedy, talking about the problems with having, intelligence agencies run amok and military industrial, complex type entities run amok and doing, making sure that things go their way. Somehow these organizations need to be, done away with, overthrown, taken down, taken apart, blasted into a million pieces as Kennedy threatened, the CIA and other intelligence agencies. I don't know what the answer to this is. I'm just voicing my frustration. And, this war has been going on for close to 20 years, which is just insane. And we have the anniversary of September 11th coming up. And I will probably do some kind of broadcast on that day, because a lot of this is tied into all of this, nefarious operations of the MIC, and surely was a product of all of that, and a very useful tool 9/11 was in supporting this idea that, there are these bad terrorists are out there and we need to stop them and we need to have troops everywhere in the world because terrorism. That's all I have for you today. Thank you so much for your eyes, your ears, and your conscience. If you would like to support this channel, you can do so at the links below. Until next time, peace.